So we're gonna do UFC Fight Night Oliveira versus Gamrot predictions. Now, last week, Anka Live versus Pereira, we did very well, as did we the week before. So we're gonna look at just quickly how we did. We skipped the women's fights. I mean, I gave an unofficial prediction that Veronica Hardy would win, but I don't count it. So I had Ramiz Brahimaj, Farid Basharat, Punahela Soriano. This one I got wrong. I had Andre Muniz. I had Jakub Viklaj winning. I had Yu Sang Yu, so that's two wrong. Ateba Gautier, Joe Pfeiffer correct. Zalal, Yuri, Marab, and I had Magomed Ankalaev. So I had three wrong, but I had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, nine correct. So 9-3, including some big underdog wins. So Ramiz Brahimaj was a pretty big underdog. Jakob Viklak was an underdog. And yeah, I think we did pretty well here. So moving on to this week or next week, we're gonna look at who's gonna win these fights. Starting with Simon Oliveira versus Luan Lacerda. Now, Simon Oliveira, he's 34 years old, 5'4", bantamweight on a three-fight losing streak. He's been knocked out his last two fights or finished his last two fights. To be fair, it's against David Martinez, who's pretty good, Daniel Marcos, who's pretty good, and Tony Gravely, who is uh, he's not all that good. He's actually been in the UFC for 4 years now with three fights. He's lost all of them. This is his last shot in the UFC. Um, I don't think he's that good. He's fighting Luan Lacerda, who's also on a two-fight losing streak. Also never won in the UFC. Listen, if you're betting on these fights, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I mean, just looking at like age and how much damage they've taken, I mean that's kind of how to, because they're both pretty bad. They would lose against most other fighters, but I think in this fight I would go with Luan Lacerda to win. He just had less damage. Um, his losses have come by submission and decision. I mean, he got ground and pounded, but I just think Simon Oliveira is just a finished fighter. I can't see him winning, so that's the take. Luan Lacerda to win this one. We're gonna skip the women's fight. Walter Walker versus Muhammad Usman. Now I think this is pretty easy. Uh, Walter Walker. Now I feel like he can be chinned by like a good fighter. I have a feeling like he has a type of style that can be chinned. I know he's had three heel hooks in a row, which is I don't think that's ever happened before. But I think this guy is pretty good. I only worry about his chin and that he's gonna leave it up. But he's a huge heavyweight, 6'7", which is 6'6", which is 199 centimeters. He's a huge man. Muhammad Usman, he's like a. I mean, he has power, obviously, but he fights like he doesn't have power. If that makes sense, I'm just not impressed at all with him in his UFC career. Even all his wins are not that good. Is against kind of like shitty fighters. He fought two decent fighters and he lost both of them. And I think Walter Walker is a more than decent fighter. So I think he can just. Although I'm not sure, I'm just not sure about striking, but I think he can. I think he can find ways to win against Muhammad Usman. Muhammad Usman, like, how does he really win fights? Maybe he knocks you out or wins the most boring decision of all time. Uh, yeah, they're both brothers of UFC fighters. I mean, yeah, Walter Walker is gonna win this one. Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nicole. Obviously, huge household names here. Absolutely legendary fighters who are looking to make another impression in the UFC after their fantastic starts. So far, all of the fighters, I think we have four fighters, and none of them have won a fight in the UFC. So yeah, that's a great start. But yeah, you have Lucas Roca fighting Stuart Nickel. None of them have a win in the UFC. Obviously, that's a level of fighters we're getting here in this card. And you know what? I'm not even gonna give a prediction for this one because I don't know who these people are. Honestly, like I was trying to remember, but who cares about this fight? Now, going to the next one, Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Now, Vitor Petrino is actually like a decent fighter, even though he lost to Anthony Smith. Uh, Dustin Jacoby is a good fighter, um, but he has some. Vitor Petrino has some really good wins. I think actually that Tyson Pedro and Modestas Bukakis are very good wins, and he also beat Rodolfo Bellato, who's looked pretty decent in his last fight. Uh, and he's beaten them by submission, he's beating them by finish, he's beating them by decision, and I really think he's pretty good. Obviously, he makes some huge mistakes in his fights, but those can be fixed. And in his last outing, obviously, he got a rear naked choke against Austin Lane. Thomas Peterson, he's like a wrestler type fighter. I think he's a US. I don't know if he's D1 or whatever he is, but he's definitely a wrestler. But he got obviously knocked out by Shamil Gaziev, the greatest. He's had a few wins in the UFC against Muhammad Usman and Dontel Mays, but he's not fought someone like Vitor Petrino, and I just think Vitor Petrino is way better striking, and I don't think this guy can impose his will on Vitor Petrino. He is not that good, obviously, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Vitor Petrino to win here, probably by knockout. I would say after I think Thomas Peterson is gonna get tired, and I think Vitor Petrino is just gonna start like I think it's gonna start just hitting him to the body, and I can see a left hook finish here for Vitor Petrino, like a left hook that knocks out Thomas Peterson or knocks him down and then strikes against the fence or something like that. But yeah, I definitely see a finish here by Petrino. Moving on to Jafel Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. Now this is actually a pretty decent fight. Jafel Filho, obviously, um, he almost, if I believe, he almost finished Muhammad Mukayev with a leg submission, but Mukayev just refused to tap. And so this guy has very good grappling. I'm very impressed by his grappling. Very slick. He can definitely submit most flyweights in the UFC. Very slick. Uh, he lost his last outing against Alan Nascimento, but he's won. I didn't even know, but he had a grappling win against Amir Albazi. I mean, he's finished Ode Osborne. He finished Daniel Perez from Spain, who they have pretty good ground game in Spain. Had a very close fight with Muhammad Mukayev, and I think this guy is pretty good. Yeah, he also beat Vinicius Salvador on the regional scene. Now, I'm very impressed by him. He's pretty good. He's 32, so he should hurry up and get some more wins in the UFC. But he's fighting Clayton Carpenter, who in his last fight against Tagir Ulanbekov lost by decision. If I remember, this was a pretty close fight. I don't think it was should have been unanimous, if I remember correctly. I think it was closer than that. But this guy's had some good wins. He beat Edgar Chairez, who I rate. I think is pretty good. And he beat some other guys in the UFC. But honestly, I think all factors considered, I think Jafel Filho is the more talented fighter of the two. Um, and I think he definitely has better ground game. Um, so I just think that Jafel Filho will get this done. I can see a submission, but I can also see like a decision happening. Um, but yeah, I think submission here is the way he's gonna win. But I think regardless, I'm gonna go with Jafel Filho to win this one. Next fight, Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. Now, when I first saw this, I thought this was the Lucas Almeida, the middleweight, but obviously it's the smaller featherweight. Now, this guy is not that good, honestly. Um, he has no notable wins in his career. He's lost against everyone that's just a little bit decent. He's fighting Michael Aswell, um, who lost a decision to Balajioki. Honestly, this guy is not good either. Um, I don't really want to give a prediction on this fight, so I'm not going to. So we're gonna skip this one. Uh, because I know people watch this to bet, and I don't want to just say a name just to say a name. So if I'm just not sure about them, I'm not gonna give a prediction because I don't really watch these guys fight. Like Lucas Almeida, Michael Aswell, and who was the other one? Like Lucas Roca versus Stuart Nicole. Like I don't really know who these guys are. I'm not gonna give predictions on them. That's just dishonest. So I'm gonna skip that. And we're gonna go to only fighters that actually know who they are. So Ricardo Ramos versus Kaan Ofli. I'm gonna start with Kaan Ofli. Bro, he just doesn't look like he can hurt anyone. Um, he's very skilled, but it looks like his training consists of hitting pads or something because he looks good, but it doesn't like actually hurt anyone. Um, and I just think he's very small for featherweight. Like not I'm not talking about height, but I'm talking about like frame. He's very like he should be a bantamweight in my opinion. He's very small for the division, like in terms of mass and size. So he's always gonna have a physicality disadvantage against the people he fights against. I remember him getting finished by Myron Santos and losing to Mohamed Naimov. I think at bantamweight this guy would be he could actually do something, but man, he's just not at featherweight. I just think he's not gonna do anything ever. Um, he's fighting Ricardo Ramos, who is not like the greatest fighter. I feel like he's been around for a long time. He's lost a bunch of fights, but then he has some sneaky wins, like against Josh Kulibau, who's pretty decent. He has win against Bill Algeo, but he's fought top level opponents. I mean, he's fought Said Nurmagomedov. He has won. Yeah, he's been in the UFC for a long time, man. Since 2017, so that's 8 years ago. He would have been 22 years old. I just think 8 years in the UFC, no matter who you are, I just think you're gonna be at the level where you're gonna beat a Kaan Ofli. And I've seen Ricardo Ramos fights lately. It's not been going that well for him, but also he's fighting. You know, these are not the best fighters in the world, like Chep Mariscal, Julian Rosa, Charles Jourdain, but they're proven guys in the UFC, and he's losing against them. He's getting choked out and losing decisions. It's not like he's getting knocked out all the time. Whereas Khan Ufli, he's losing against like Myron Santos, Mohamed Naimov. I mean, he has no wins in the UFC. I think if he's gonna get a win in the UFC, this is gonna be his chance. But I don't think he is going to win. Um, I, I can see this being a very boring fight because none of them want to risk losing, and when both of them don't want to risk losing, it usually turns into like a boring sparring match. A lot of holding up against the cage, a lot of like not hard punches. They're not gonna overcommit to anything. So this is probably gonna be like a split or a decision. And I think if the decision is, you know, in Brazil and there's a Brazilian fighters, I mean, guess who is going to win? So I'm gonna go with Ricardo Ramos here to win by decision. That's probably gonna happen. Yeah. Moving on to Jhonata Diniz versus Mario Pinto. Now Jhonata Diniz, his last performance, I think it was no, was it before that? Marcin Tibura. It was an atrocious performance. Like it was so bad. I can never. I don't like this guy because of that performance. It was so bad, man. I don't really even remember what happened, but I just remember him being absolutely just a loser, man. Like I did not appreciate that performance. He came back from that and won a decision against Alvin Hines, the fat guy who got popped for steroids, even though he's fat. So I don't know how that works. He's fighting Mario Pinto, who I was very impressed with in his last fight. I think that was when he, or was it the contender series? I don't remember, but I remember his name and I remember him just finishing someone. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Austin Lane. But yeah, I think this guy is gonna destroy Jonathan Deniz. Honestly, I, can I see what the odds are here? I'm really wondering what they are. Uh, I don't know who's the underdogs or who are the favorites in these fights, but I'm definitely gonna go with Mario Pinto in this one. I just think he's way better, way better than Jhonata Diniz. And Jhonata Diniz, he just showed me he's not a high level fighter in that one fight against Martin Tibura. So yeah, we're gonna go with Mario Pinto. I wish I could see the odds. Uh, does it not? Maybe it does on the UFC page. Events upcoming. I'm gonna go for this one. The odds are here, right? No, they haven't released the odds. Man, I wonder who like the favorites. Whatever, but I'm gonna go with Mario Pinto. Now, next fight: Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez making his welterweight debut. Now, man, I've been a fan of Joel Alvarez since his first fight in the UFC. He was way too big for lightweight for his own good. Like he kept missing weight, and I think it's actually pretty big for welterweight as well. He's a huge guy. Like he should never been at lightweight. He was so big, man. But his grappling is really high level. Like he can submit absolutely anyone, and he has a lot of power in his hands as well. He's fighting a Vicente Luque who has been finished quite a bit lately. He's lost a lot of his fights. He had like a brain bleed or something against I don't remember who he fought, but he had like literally bleeding from his head. Um, like internal. I mean, he had like real problem. I don't know why he's still fighting. He shouldn't be fighting anymore. Man, this guy's been finished a few times, and s- was it against Kevin Holland where he just got very easily beat. He's fighting an absolute monster here. I know it's short notice, but it's welterweight, so he doesn't have to cut as much weight. So hopefully he has also better cardio at this weight. But man, Joel Alvarez is like one of my favorite fighters. Like, he's like one of the most underrated fighters I think in the UFC, and that's because he doesn't fight that much. It feels like he never fights. So he fought once in 2023. He fought two times in 24, and he hasn't fought in 25. Yeah, so this guy doesn't fight that much. But man, if you look at his UFC career, it's very underrated. His first fight was against Damir Ismagulov, who is a very good fighter. He's from that Dagestan team. He still fights. I didn't even know he still fought. What is this? Yeah, I thought he retired, but then he apparently went to fight more. But whatever. Uh, I remember he went to like a nice win streak, and then he just destroyed Thiago Moises. And I thought he would win against Arman Tsarukyan actually, like back in the day. But obviously Arman Tsarukyan is just another level. Then he just beat Mark Diakese easily. He destroyed Elvis Brenner. He destroyed Drakkar Close. Like this guy finishes every man he fights against, and I think against someone like Vicente Luque, who has been finished a few times, this guy is just gonna do whatever he wants. He's very skilled on the ground. He has a lot of power standing up, and his fights he's like the type of fighter, kind of like Yuri, where the fight can end at any time, in both ways. But I think in this one, he's gonna win, man. Like if you even look at their records, I know it's not the same level of competition, but 22-3 and 23-11. I mean, that just tells you who should win this fight by itself. Because Alvarez has been in the UFC for like 6 years at this point. It's not like some new fighter. I don't know how he's unranked. I mean, is that in welterweight? Was he ranked in lightweight? I don't know, but man, he's very good. I'm gonna go with Joel Alvarez by finish. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Now we're gonna start with Montel Jackson, who has been on kind of a tear lately. He's in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak, and he's looked good doing it. I remember his finish against Damon Blackshear, very impressive. He took Daniel Marcos's undefeated record from him. He's beat some good guys, but he's fighting a very good fighter here in Deiveson Figueiredo, um, who is on a two-fight winning streak, and he didn't really look good at least in his last fight. But if you look at who he's fought, man, he's fought Corey Sandhagen, who just fought for a title. He fought Peter Yan, former champion, Marlon Vera, title challenger, Cody Garbrandt, former champion, Rob Font, Brandon Moreno. I mean, he's fought one. Let's see how many champions he's fought. how many champions and title challengers he's fought? It's one, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 of his fights have been against either champions or title like challengers who fought in title fights. So he's fought at the top competition, and even though he looked kind of bad in his last fight, I mean he's still a skilled fighter. A skilled fighter. He's kind of old, but he's gonna beat Montel Jackson, man, especially in a 3 round fight. Man, I'm going with Deiveson Figueiredo here. He's being underlooked in this one, I think. Uh, don't sleep on Deiveson Figueiredo. He's gonna win this one. Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. Now, if you watch my channel, you know already who I'm picking. Um, I'm going with Mateusz Gamrot here. I think actually Gamrot is gonna finish him. I think he's gonna finish Oliveira here. Um, by knockout, actually. I'm not saying he's gonna like a one punch knockout him, but I think it's gonna be a TKO or KO. Um, against an Oliveira who has been knocked down by literally everyone in the UFC. I know he's been against like hard hitters, and Gamrot is not known for his knockouts, but he has knocked people out before. And man, I think at this point, Charles Oliveira he should retire. I don't know how much he's getting paid, but I don't think it's worth your health. He's going to lose this one 100%. I'm so sure about it. This is one of my most confident picks in recent time. Um, knockout, I wouldn't bet everything on it, but I definitely think Mateusz Gamrot is winning this one. And I think he's going to finish him. Because usually when Oliveira loses, it is by finish in the earlier rounds, and he has no chin. I don't see him submitting Mateusz Gamrot, and I don't see Mateusz Gamrot getting knocked out. I don't think he's ever been finished, has he? No. I mean, no, never been finished in MMA. He's fought great guys, good fight, very good fighters. He has a win against Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, come on. I think he actually won against Guram Kudatladze as well. But Neil Darvish was just one bad fight. Dan Hooker hurt him a bit, but man, yeah, I'm going with the Polish guy here. The Polish fighters, they're very good, man. You even saw it in the last event, Viklash against Patchy Mix. They're very skilled, and if Jakub Viklag had like better cardio, he would have won by finish. But I think Gamrot has very good cardio. He's a great wrestler. He he's in great shape, I think. So yeah, I'm definitely going for him in this one. Now, let me know how I do again. Last 2 weeks, we've had like 90% win rates, so we're probably going to do something similar here. Now, this fight is a bit harder to predict just because of who these guys are, but I'm going to summarize one more time who I picked to win these fights. So, I think I skipped the first fight. So, Walter Walker, Vitor Petrino, Jafel Filho, um, Ricardo Ramos, Mario Pinto, Joel Alvarez, Deiveson Figueiredo, Charles Oliveira. Now, I mean, Mateusz Gamrot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks for this card. Let me know how I did, and let me know how you did, and see you soon.